Cinema Shogun here, and for those of you all who might not know this by now, I grew up in the South. And don't get me wrong, I'm not from necessarily a small little town or anything. And I'm not like someone from the boondocks, don't get me wrong. But I'm also not this big city type of person, although I always had big city dreams. Growing up in the South, I often longed for the hustle and bustle of the city. I was attracted by the bright lights. I wanted to look up and see skyscrapers. I wanted to have, endless possibilities surrounding me. And I would look at places like San Francisco and think, man, that just looks so cool and so beautiful and so full of life. I would look at places like New York, like, man, that's got to be the coolest place to live. Because you got everything at your disposal in New York. You could do anything. There's so many things to do. But as I grew older, I started to value the slower paced lifestyle that I was used to. I started to value that lifestyle more and more. Even though when I was young, I felt like I outgrew it and I was ready to spread my wings in the city and fly. But as I got older, I started understanding the importance. I started appreciating the more peaceful way of life. And I started noticing the changes in these big cities across America. Don't get me wrong, big cities have always had crime. I'm not saying big cities were without their flaws, but man, oh man, they were way different than what they are now. And even big cities in the South, they've been affected as well, but it's not as crazy as places out in California and up north. I look at San Francisco, and that was a place that I thought just looked awesome back in the day. You would see, I forgot, what was it? Was it Full House? It was some sitcom that was filmed in San Francisco. You would see the car going over the San Francisco Bridge, and I would think, man, I would give anything to be there. But then I look at San Francisco now, and it looks like something straight out of a zombie movie. Homeless encampments everywhere. People walking down the street looking like literal zombies. On drugs that literally eat the flesh off their skin. And then I look at New York and big cities like that, and the crime is just off the charts. And not only is the crime bad, it's like criminals aren't even held accountable for what they do. You can push someone on the subway and get out of jail the same night, only to hurt someone else again. So I was just noticing, how crime was just taking over these cities and drugs. And not only did they become places where I no longer wanted to live, I didn't even want to visit. I don't even want to vacation in these areas anymore. But looking at what happened to these pillars of American society, these big cities, New York is supposed to be the hub of human life. Looking at what happened to these cities in our country, it really saddens me. And I couldn't help but hope that at some point we would find a solution to the homeless problem, to the crime problem, to the drug problem. And listen, I'm no expert. I'm not a politician. I can't tell you that I have all the answers, but I think I could come up with better answers than what these people are doing, our elected officials. But luckily, the elected officials and politicians in New York, they have come up with a plan. They've come up with a plan to take back the city streets, to make New York, New York again. They've come up with a plan to battle the homeless problem, to battle the addiction problem. Finally, like a beacon of hope shining from the sky, they have figured out a solution to this problem. Now, what is the solution that they came up with? Well, you see, ladies and gentlemen, after years of deliberation, after countless amounts of your money being spent, they came up with a bright idea to put a vending machine in the middle of New York City that gives away free crack pipes and paraphernalia to junkies. That is what they came up with. I kid you not. I'm not joking, ladies and gentlemen. Just yesterday, the first vending machine was introduced to New York City. And when I say vending machine, there's not Coca-Cola inside. No, there's not Babe Ruth candy bars and M&Ms. There's crack pipes, condoms, safe sniffer kits so you can get your snort on safely, syringes so you can have a clean needle when you inject yourself. This is the solution that they've come up with. Your taxpayer dollars are being used to buy crack pipes for junkies in New York City. I'm not even kidding. And some people who listen, I understand we all have difference of opinions. I understand we all have a different way of going about things, but how can anyone in their right mind find this or see this and think that this is a valid solution to the problem that these cities are facing? Let's make sure we get crack pipes in the hands of all of these junkies for free so they can safely smoke their crack in front of your apartment that you spend, $6,000 a month on for a one-bedroom living in New York. Let's go ahead and dive into this article. But first, hit that thumbs up button. It's totally free. It helps this channel. We need to get those thumbs ups on these videos. Let's go ahead and dive in. New York City health officials on Monday unveiled the city's first public health vending machine featuring free drug paraphernalia and anti-overdose meds for addicts. The big blue box was installed in Brooklyn on Monday and will offer potentially life-saving, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying certain words here, but it's going to be offering life-saving medication to drug users who have overdosed on opioids, along with instructions on how to use the medication. Instead of snacks or sodas, the vending machine has hygiene kits, crack pipes, safe sex kits for anyone with a New York City zip code to claim it. Officials say that similar machines in the US, Europe, and Australia have demonstrated effectiveness at reducing overdose rates and the spread of infectious diseases. We are in the midst of an OD crisis in our city, which is taking a fellow New Yorker from us every 3 hours and is a major cause of falling life expectancy in NYC, said Health Commissioner Dr. Vassan in a statement. But we will continue to fight to keep our neighbors and loved ones alive with care, compassion, and action. AKA, we will continue to fight to keep our neighbors high on crack. Public health vending machines are an innovative way to meet people where they are and to put life-saving tools in their hands. We leave no stone unturned until we reverse the trends in opioid-related deaths in our city. ODs in New York City are at historic highs. In 2021, there were 2,668 OD deaths in NYC compared to the 2,103 in 2020. In 2021, 84% of OD deaths involved an opioid. Fentanyl, a deadly synthetic opioid, was involved in 80% of all OD deaths, according to the NYC Department of Health. Officials said there were 1,370 confirmed OD deaths in the first half of 2022. They estimate that 2022 was and will be the deadliest year on record for ODs if that trend continues. The vending machine is designed to curb that trend by giving addicts free access to medications, drug test strips that test and detect fentanyl, and safer smoking kits that come with crack pipes, mouthpieces, and lip balm for smoking crack and crystal meth. The machine also comes equipped with safe sniffer kits, condoms, tampons, nicotine gum, and first aid packages. So basically, the problem is that too many of their customers are dying off. They got all of these drugs they need to sell, okay? And when this fentanyl is killing everyone off, they got to make sure that these junkies have access to, random health kits and stuff and medications. They have to make sure they have access to that so they can stay alive, so they can continue to be customers, basically. Right? That's kind of what it looks like here. It's like, oh, listen, too many of our customers are dying off. We need to drop a vending machine in the middle of New York City, make sure they get clean crack pipes, make sure they get clean syringes, make sure we got first aid kits just in case they OD. We got to keep these people alive. We got to keep them alive so they come back and keep spending money on us, and then they keep coming back to our vending machine, getting free crack pipes that our taxpayers paid for, because this is how we stop the problem with addiction in our country, by giving junkies more free equipment to do drugs with. I honestly do not understand. I understand, but we're surrounded by freaking idiots. You can't convince me that everyone is just this stupid. Or are they? Am I really surrounded by like 99% freaking dumbasses? Because it really is starting to feel that way. Is it starting to feel that way to y'all? When you look at what these politicians are doing, it's like you're trying to use the guise of help to do harm, to do more bad. This, in no way, shape, or form, does this seem like something that's going to help. And then you're going to get your types. You know the types. And if you're one of those types, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. Well, technically, you see, we got to stop the spread of infectious diseases. And, we need them to be able to safely do their drugs because that's what's better. No. Shut the hell up. Please. People like y'all are the reasons why we have these issues now in our society. Because you're taking this soft approach where you're coddling junkies, literally using taxpayers' money to supply them with paraphernalia. There's too many people smoking crack on our streets. Therefore, we need to have a vending machine that gives away free crack pipes. That's how we curb the issue. That's how we solve the problem. But this is life, folks. This is the reality that we are forced to live in because we are surrounded by a bunch of idiots who, I don't know if they're just this dumb or emotionally they allow their emotions to think for them instead of logic. So they think that they could help these people by giving them free syringes and crack pipes for them to OD with. Imagine that. You're a crack addict walking down the street and you're just looking for a pipe, but you can't find one. And then, oh, look, free crack pipes at the vending machine. You go get it, you smoke your crack, and then you die. And it's like, oh, thanks for assisting in these people's downfall. Thank you. Thanks for ensuring that these streets never get clean. Imagine being the person that lives right next to the crack pipe dispensary. You know what I mean? Because somewhere, someone's house or apartment or their place of business is right there by the crack pipe vending machine. Think about that. You've worked hard your whole life. You stayed away from drugs. You wanted to accomplish the American dream. You opened up your business in NYC. And then politicians come along and they're like, hey, you know, right outside your business, right outside your little family sandwich shop, this is a wonderful place for our crack pipe vending machine. Let's ensure that junkies from all over the city come right here in front of your business, in front of your restaurant, in front of your apartment, in front of your home, and congregate and do drugs. Because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I can't even put into words how stupid this sounds to me, how frustrating it is to me that stuff like this actually happens. I feel like I am living in a joke. This is clown world. We live in a clown world. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.